Okay, so one of the strangest things that so can you tell me how and the whole process of making Fantastic One? Because for me, um the bomb that Dilla dropped on me was that he made the music for Fantastic Volume 1 after the vocals were done. He was like, he would just do a hi-hat, and you guys would just rhyme to the hi-hat. I don't think this is championed enough. For me, yes, I know the entire world righteously salivates over Dilla's creation. But for me, the magic of that whole period was it's to me it's a marriage. It's a marriage between the beats and the rhythm to which you guys are delivering this stuff, which it wasn't exactly the tradition of harmonizing, i.e. the Cold Crush brothers, but you guys had such a confident, cocky presentation of like your background hooks and all that stuff.
Yeah.
How are you guys creatively like thinking of these things?
Man.
Yeah.
I would say this. Number one, here's what happened though. Volume 1 got done because of a beef, a dumb beef. So it was the group 5Ella, shout out to them. And Dilla
the same 5Ella that's on.
You said why
all of y'all's on a day.
Same 5Ella.
Wait, are y'all singing? Wait, is this 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 LL thing again? Are y'all like beefing with each other on the song?
Yes.
Wait. I was only playing. Are you serious?
First of all, every song on Volume 1 is me to talk about Dilla talk about me, or him talk about Baatin.
Wait, what? Wait, I didn't even ask that question. Wait, I'm talking about other crews.
Yeah,
you guys are just basically using the microphone as a pulpit bully like method.
Yes. We enjoy.
You got to give me specifics because.
When Dilla say I'm sick of niggas popping up in my crib, when he talking about
all in the announcing shit,
talking about me because this nigga, he told me, he said he'll tell you to come to his crib and then he won't answer the door. And then he'll say, I'm popping up at I'm popping up at the crib. You told me to come. I walked over here.
I never knew this shit.
Stuff like that, man. There's tons of stuff like that. Yes.
And so what counterfeit niggas be running. It's
yeah. I'll come back. Yes, that's all we did all day was talk about each other. On the first whole Volume 1.
You were lightly ranking on each other.
Yes. Just I mean, because that's kind of niggas we was.
So I don't know why the fuck I'm fucking with you. All this.
Well, that was a chick that Dilla was messing with. It wasn't. I ain't talking about. But then Baatin threw a couple of slick lines in there too, though. So yeah. All day, all we used to do. But like I said, it started off with a beef with them, and Dilla had produced a whole tape. Now, mind you, Slum Village ain't came out with official nothing yet. And they was bragging like, oh, Dilla did our stuff before he did y'all. Boom. So here come YG hyping us up. The first song we gonna do is Players. Talking about them. That's the first song we did. Players. We was talking about them and this other guy from the old hip hop scene that I was talking about personally, because we was dating the same girl and he got mad and I tried to, anyway, but yeah, it's something like that. So that's how that got. So that's how it all kind of started, after that.
What is the 788?
788 is our birthdays. So I'm Dilla's February 7th. I'm November 8th, and Baatin is March 8th. So it's just our birthdays.
You guys are weird. All right. So
so we doing this, and what I was saying, so I was inspired by that. So we did like half of the tape to just clicks, and then half we did beats. So I went off. But then even with the beats that we did, he still remixed.
Yeah, he would change them.
It wasn't the same either. So that's how we did Volume 1. And we did it, like I said, we did it in a week. because we had all these rhymes that and songs, you know what I'm saying? Just from 10 years of being together, we was together for a long time before we actually came kind of out. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
So
what did y'all record? What did y'all record volume 1 on? Because it sounds like y'all just recording on like headphone mic. Like what kind of equipment was y'all using?
we record part of it on headphone mics. Because we had 2 mics, and then we had to do part of it straight to DAT. So it's stuff straight to DAT. That means 1 takes. That means if you fuck up, we had to start all over again, do it again because we're doing straight to DAT. Then we took part over to RJ's studio once we got some time to do that. So it's all over the place with the
it's going to have to roll. Fuck that.
Yeah. That's why we had to roll, because we did it like 27 times. Like, fuck that, nigga. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I mean, but I enjoyed the process. And when we made it, if you listen to me at the end, I'll be like, ooh, I already knew.
Right.
I already knew at the end of one of those songs, I already knew it was gonna be a classic. I was like, ooh, this is it.
So question. All right. I always wanted to know this. And I know I'm like asking you to remember like inside jokes from like almost 30 years ago, but so on Fat Cat song, or at least at the end of How We Bullshit, after listening to this song for like 25 years, I listened to Fantastic like its entirety last night for the first time in like maybe for like 5 years. Like it's been a minute since I just sat down and listened to any album in its entirety. But it finally hit me. Am I correct in assuming that you guys were ranking? My assumption is that you guys, at the time that you recorded it, the Soul Train Awards must have just came on, because you're obviously talking about Escape, like at the very beginning. Like you guys are trying to remember their name. You're like, the group that sings "Get Back Your Seat, Relax It," right? But then there's a moment where I believe that you guys are mocking Color Me Bad's first single of their sophomore album, Time and Change.
Yeah. That is true. That's true. Yeah. Because everything was comedy. That is true.
I only know this because I guess they were. Do you remember the second album that Color Me Bad did, Fonte, where
Time and Chance?
Yeah, where they decided to enlist Bootsy and the P-Funk All-Stars as their band.
Oh, I missed that part.
Like, it was really weird. Like, anywhere they were going, like, literally, like, I'm looking at Gary Mudbone Walker and Bootsy Collins and Catfish, but just be side guys to Color Me Bad. Not like, hey, like, at least in Delight, like, Delight was like, yo, we got Bootsy's Rubber Band as our band. But literally, I saw a performance on the Soul Train Awards. Finally, I looked it up, and I believe that that's what you guys were mocking, because like at no point did you guys think that was ever going to get out or get back to them or anything like that?
So I think we thought we was being so coded that people was gonna really be like, you know what I'm saying? You know,
it took me a minute.
As possible. We tried to be coded, and that was shout out to Frank Nate. That was Frank Nate that was saying that too. That was Frank Nate.
For real? Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, man. I mean, like I said, everything was based on jokes, comedy. I don't know why we decided to say that before the song that we was getting ready to record. I right. No, but we just kept it like, oh, okay.
So what was your level of shock that not only is this going to take off in your city, but at what point do you realize that this cassette demo might actually be not only hip hop's most important creative shift? Very quietly though. I mean, not like in terms of Dr. Dre, like turning the whole world around with the sound of the West Coast, the G-Funk sound. But at what point do you realize that this thing is going to be bigger than just something local or something that's dope for hip hop, but almost like damn near its own genre or a way of life. Like, at what point does that hit you?
It's gonna be, believe it or not, it's once we got that demo or that volume 1 to Q-Tip's hands,
Right.
and he started calling this person, and people like you, and then people like D'Angelo, and all of these people saying, "Oh man," that's when I'm looking like, okay, these are people that I admire. You know what I'm saying? And I love their music, and that's when you know, okay, we do got some legs. You know what I'm saying? We got something to stand on. But you know how long that takes because it's word of mouth. First of all, you had to mail the tape. Remember, you had to
Yes.
you know, and send it to somebody. Okay, now you gotta wait. Then they gotta listen to it. Then they gotta play their boy. Y'all ain't in the same state. But Q-Tip single-handedly played it for everybody. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he did. I can attest that the first time I heard Fantastic Volume 1, I was in Germany and living off of per diem and weekly stipend. So, like, to be a broke starving musician living on about $375 a week on your own to fend for yourself, and the temptation, to pick up the phone to call the United States long distance for 25 minutes.
Right.
No, literally, like, I told them, like, set up a microphone to the speakerphone. I want to hear this whole entire thing. That was a $168 phone call that I could not afford. And
wow.
no, seriously, I was like, okay, I can live off of pommes there's a joke in the roots community, pommes beaucoup tomate. Usually after midnight, when bodegas or like those like late night spots that are about to close, right before they close, they might like sell the food for cheap. So when you're touring Europe, you'll go to the kebab dude and he'll cut off half the price. So I was like negotiating my meals. Like, I can live off of street kebabs, beaucoup tomates, and pommes frites. And at the venue, I knew I was good for a turkey sandwich. Like, they give you food at the venue. So, nah, man, I had to starve 1 week for some Slum Village over the telephone. Is it jarring and this is the thing that I noticed. I noticed, and I explained to this in Dan's book. Because D'Angelo will go through this. I seen Dilla go through this. I seen a couple people go through it, where I think the general rule is like, pioneers are supposed to be like at least 20 to 40 years older than the next generation. So, in the way that like D'Angelo looks at Prince or Marvin Gaye, then of course, okay, that's the natural essence. Like, that's the natural evolution of life. Like, he's going to be influenced by them. But it's a little bit different when your pioneer might be 5 years older than you, or in this case, your pioneer won't even get their turn to bat until 5 years after you. So is it jarring to be in this bubble that's so influential, in which on one hand people are embracing you, but on the other hand, it's almost like we get to sample and taste the fruit of the nectar. Yeah, the nectar of the fruit before you yourself get to enjoy that.
Well, it's a lot. It was a lot for us. Number one, out the gate, we got kicked in the rump because Q-Tip decided when we did finally get him on the record that he wants to use our record as a platform to leave hip hop.
Right. So, when I heard that verse, I was like, wait a minute.
Right. So guess what New York said to Slum Village? Boom! You got rid of Tribe Called Quest. I like, no, I didn't. I just wanted a verse.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I just wanted a verse. I didn't know when I went down there. He was talking. I was walking with Q-Tip down the street. We was going to Sabero's Pizza. And we was going to some studio or something after that. And he was like, man, I'm really thinking about quitting, man. I'm out. And then he loops up the original Hold Tight. Hold tight.
Right.
And he starts spitting these sentimental lyrics.
It's something about this group that makes people want to, some sort of catharsis release that happens that makes everybody confrontational on a Slum Village cassette.